Hello. So today, I want to go over marking the text or annotating. At this point, you can call it either or. It does not matter to me. For my students, though, we're just going to call it marking the text right now. We're going to start off with just four basic things that come along with marking the text. I've noticed recently that the papers haven't been as good as I'd hope as far as marking the text. And I'd like to hopefully get you to watch this video so that it helps you in the future. So we want to stay away from marking the text like this. As you can see, there's a bare minimum of work there. We need some more work as far as what the expectations are with marking the text. And then there's also this one where it's just a little bit overdone, right? Everything seems to be highlighted. There's a lot of work there. So we want to try and limit it, get it somewhere nicely in between the two of marking the text. So what I have written down here, we'll just do baby steps. We'll go through 1 through 4. Now, obviously there are more marks to the text you can add to this, but we're just going to start off with the easy basics here. So number 1, the first thing you want to do is number the paragraphs. So when you get your sheet, whenever it is you're reading, you want to go through and number those paragraphs. So I have right here this article. It deals with police body cameras, all right, whether they work or not, and what the expectations were. So you would initially go through, just see where the paragraphs are. We have 1, we have 2 here, we have 3 here. This is your 4th, your 5th, your 6th, your 7th. And then you also want to look, like this one starts your 8th at the bottom, right here. But it actually goes up here. So we label this one 8, 9, for the next one, 10, 11, and 12. So we got the numbering of the paragraphs done. They're in there. All right, step 1. So highlight or underline important information. So you definitely want to go through. We'll just read the first couple paragraphs here. Police warn body cameras do not reduce instances of police use of force, nor do they reduce citizen complaints about excessive force. Now, everybody might vary as far as what they put for importance, and that is fine, but we want to make sure we get the gist of it. So this is an opening sentence, and it's actually a pretty powerful one. We definitely need to highlight this one to start. Now, it's not always going to be the opening sentence. You're going to have to read through, but check out, see what works. These are the unexpected findings from the largest study to date on the subject, which cast doubt on the generally accepted wisdom regarding body camera effectiveness. We found essentially that we could not detect any statistical significant effect of the body-worn cameras, said Anita Ravishankar, one of the researchers behind the study. Will this latest study cause police departments to abandon this expensive technology? In a 2015 survey, 95% of police departments reported that they had implemented or planned to implement police-worn body cameras. It seems unlikely that change will occur considering that these shocking results. All right, so that I would definitely label as important here. So, most involved, skipped a sentence here. Results were released and covered on a Friday, the day of the week favored for dropping unpleasant news so that it may be buried and forgotten over the weekend. Most involved in this latest study were surprised by the results. After all, much of the recent spending on police-worn body cameras, over $40 million by the federal government and more by state and local governments, was premised on the idea that such a watchful eye and objective record would help deter police violence and excessive use of force. The best evidence for body camera effectiveness was a 2012 study on 54 officers from a police department in Rialto, California. All right, so anytime you see money, cost, most of the time, like I say, all of the time, typically needs to be highlighted. Would also start with this evidence that they're talking about in Rialto, California. Sounds like it's going to be an important finding. That study showed a reduction in police force and civilian complaints, and the study was cited in a 2013 judicial ruling that ordered New York City's police departments to conduct a year-long pilot program using body cameras. All right, this is also very important. All right. So, New York City's police department. And then we could say pilot program. So, as you can see, we highlighted important information, but we didn't have to highlight all of it. All right. So, this would be a good start. We could also get into the next line here. The new study conducted using 2,224 officers in Washington, D.C. in the Washington, D.C. Police Department is the largest of its kind to date. We must now wonder why the most robust study on body-worn cameras did not confirm the effects many expected. Now, we have our info here. And now when you do this, you could go through and circle the confusing words if you'd like. That's completely fine. But for this task, just so we can focus one and then go to the other, I'm going to now go through and circle, as you see, the confusing words or words you might not know. All right? So, just from what I saw when initially doing this, a few students circled these keywords. So, if you go at the we'll actually start at the top and work down. So there wasn't too many. I didn't see too many circled in the beginning, but a couple students I saw circled premised here. All right, a couple of you guys circled premised. Judicial as well. Okay, and then also robust. And those are just the words in these first 4 paragraphs here that I saw circled the most. So we could go through those in class. All right. The other thing you want to do here is write in the margins. So exclamation point, once again, for something that might surprise you, all right, or something that sticks out. Question mark next to anything you might not know or understand. Put a star next to anything you find to be seriously important. You definitely want to come back to and label it, all right? And then drawings on the side if you need, all right? So definitely in the beginning, this is a little bit of a shocker, right? We would assume that they would reduce citizen complaints, right? And the cameras would reduce instances of police use of force. So if they're finding out that it's not, that's something surprising. And definitely put an exclamation point there. Probably even put a star as well, right? That's something that this whole topic is formed on. The amount of money the federal government spent, right? That $40 million, that's a big one. And then the 2 studies that they're talking about here, the one in Rialto, California, you could star here. I would. And then I would also star the other study that, with 2,224 officers. All right. So those would be the main things, just to start. This would be the type of detail I'd like to see on here. Not too much, not necessarily too little. And in the end, it should help your reading standards so that you can improve upon those. So, all right, if you have any further questions, you can ask me in class. All right.